It's the Open Bedroom Door Show.
I'm Angela Skirtu, and I open bedroom doors. Welcome to the Open Bedroom Doors Show. Real talk for real relationships. I'm your host, Angela Skirtu, your friendly neighborhood sex therapist and licensed marriage therapist. And yes, talking about sex is literally my job. I started this show because, let's be real, most of us didn't get sex education. We're out here fumbling through love, intimacy, and awkward bedroom moments with zero guidance and a lot of shame. Time to fix that. Here's what you can expect every episode. Sex positions. We start off hot by judging something wild, weird, or just plain wrong in the media or culture. You'll laugh, you'll cringe, you might even learn something. Next, we move to guest interviews. I chat with fascinating folks, sexperts, storytellers, and everyday humans with juicy stories and powerful insights. And then, of course, we have to have a happy ending. Yep, we finish strong. I answer real questions from real people about sex, relationships, and all the stuff you're too afraid to ask your therapist or anyone else for that matter. But I'm here, so ask away. If you're ready to laugh, learn, and finally talk about the stuff no one ever taught us, hit play. Let's open that bedroom door, shall we? Welcome to Sex Positions. This is the Open Bedroom Door Show, and on this segment, what I like to do is judge things as a sex therapist that are happening in media and society that are related to sex. And I'm your resident sex therapist. Hey! So what I really want to judge today is how our culture is treating pregnancy and pregnant women. I don't know if y'all realize this, but we are super judgy of pregnant women. So it was 10 years ago when I was pregnant, but I remember if I had a coffee, people were like, oh, you can't drink that. Or I remember one time I was in my car and I was just starving, so I grabbed a Big Mac. I just was eating it and stuffing it. But I didn't want people to even see me eat because I was so annoyed with how much judgment I got for the different things I was putting in my body, the different things I was doing. And yes, I get it. We're not allowed to do anything when we're pregnant. But if you think of what that's doing to your sex life, if you're in this no, stop, don't do this. You got to do it for the baby. Well, guess what happens? It's you lose you in the process. And that's why I was hiding in my car eating a Big Mac. I felt like I had lost a little bit of me. And so you staying connected to your intimacy is you taking you back. You're a person. You're not just a baby-making machine, although it's amazing that your body is capable of making that baby. And I'm just so grateful that you're going through that process. You're not a baby-making machine, you're a person. And there are different ways that couples can be connecting to each other through intimacy, and you can be connecting to yourself as a woman and a person through intimacy. So I just want to encourage you today, the next time you kiss your partner, kiss them because you're taking back your own connection to intimacy. Kiss your partner or cuddle your partner. Ask them, hey babe, I want you to go down on me. Right? It's my vulva, which by the way, you can go to Vulva Puppet for this, vulvapuppet.com. They want me to start blasting them as well. But you can go to your partner and actually say, hey, I need some sex and intimacy for me because I'm still here and I'm still a woman and I got needs. If you want a bed, guess what? We are filming our sex positions here at Mattress Dogs. This is a mattress furniture store, and I am thankful for Mattress Dogs for letting me do my sex positions event in bed. Use promo code SEXYTIME and you can get your next bed here tax-free. We're always looking for sponsors. So if you would like to become a sponsor for the show or for the sex position segment, please go to openbedroomdoors.com and check out our sponsorship page. And we will, if you become one of our sponsors, we'll even let you pick the position. Welcome to the Open Bedroom Doors Show. I'm your host, Angela Skirtu, licensed marriage therapist and certified sex therapist. And with me today is Betty Martin, who has the Wheel of Consent. Betty, will you tell them a little more about who you are and what you do?
Sure. I'm Betty Martin. I'm a former chiropractor. And then after I closed that practice after 30 years, I started doing surrogate partner work, sacred intimate work, and sex coaching. And I worked with hundreds of people over a number of years. And out of that experience with people came uh, the Wheel of Consent, which is a practice and a model which I developed, which I now teach largely to other practitioners and individuals. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And I
that's a
wrote
good
a
one.
book about it. Yeah.
Oh, well, tell us about your. You can
Yeah.
real quick blurb. Tell us about
Yeah.
the book.
Okay. The book is called The Art of Receiving and Giving, The Wheel of Consent. And it takes you through the practice, step one, step two, step three, so that you can have a somatic experience in your own body of how the wheel of consent works and the four quadrants, which we'll talk about shortly.
All right. Well, all right. I want to learn all about the Wheel of Consent. So tell me, I guess first, how you came up with it.
That's a great question. Well, I took a bunch of workshops a long time ago, mostly with the Body Electric School. And at one of those workshops, we played a game called the 3 Minute Game. And this was developed by Harry Faddis. And the 3 Minute Game is two questions for two people. You take turns asking each other these two questions, and then you set the timer and do what you've agreed to do. And the first question is, what do you want me to do to you for 3 minutes?
I don't know,
Well,
Betty.
yeah, I can
What
think
are you
of
gonna
some
do?
fun things that I might want you to do to me for 3 minutes. What do you want me to do to you for 3 minutes? And then you have a conversation and you agree on what you want to do and then set the timer for 3 minutes. So that's one question. The second question is, what do you want to do to me for 3 minutes? That's a very different question.
Mhm.
And so, oh, well, what do I want to do to you for 3 minutes? I can think of some fun things I might like to do to you for 3 minutes. And so then again, you have a conversation. Well, I want to do this. Well, this works or this doesn't work. Or, then you have a conversation and you set the timer and you do that for 3 minutes. That's called the 3 minute game. Two
Mm.
people, two questions. It creates 4 rounds of the game.
Hmm.
And if you play it a couple times, you'll notice, okay, in two of those rounds, I'm the doer. And in two of those rounds, I'm being done to. That's pretty
Mhm.
simple. You also notice that in two of those rounds, it's about what I want. And in two of those rounds, it's about what you want. And that also gets interesting because those two don't match, they cross. So you end up with 4 different rounds. I do what I want, or I do what you want. Big difference.
Mhm.
You do what I want, or you do what you want. Again, big difference.
Mhm.
And so the wheel of consent is just a drawing of those two factors overlapping. Um, and so, I mean, it's really, really simple. It's just, I do what I want, I do what you want, you do what I want, you do what you want.
Betty, that's so interesting when I think of women, very
Yeah.
specifically,
Yes.
because I sit every day, all day long with, I mean, I have a variety of couples, but the
Mhm.
majority of them are heterosexual, male, female. And the
Mhm.
female in that couple is often doing things that he wants, that or that she
Yes.
thinks he wants,
Yes.
or that like and they're
Yeah,
not having this
totally.
conversation at all.
At all. That's
Like
right.
they just and then every choice is like, well, he wants sex, so I have to do this, or he wants this, and so I and it's very anxiety producing too when we're
Sure.
having this conversation. Like there's a
Yeah, yeah.
pressure, and the crazy thing is a lot of the pressure is really inside. It's not even
Oh,
like
absolutely.
they haven't even talked about it. And then it compounds over time, and then I
Yeah.
see them.
Yeah, yeah,
Are you
exactly.
seeing this
It's
too? Like, how
oh,
is that
yes,
playing
yes,
out for
yes, yes,
you?
yes, yes, yes. And one person says, How do you want me what do you want me to do to you?" or "How do you want me to touch you?" And the other person says, "Oh, I don't know, just do whatever you want." Well, that's very nice, but it's not the question.
Mhm.
And when I was doing this with clients, I'm no longer seeing private clients, but when I was doing with this clients, either I'd have a couple in front of me or I'd be playing with it myself. And I would say, "How do you want me to touch you?" And they would answer not with what they wanted, but with what they didn't mind terribly much. That's a
Mhm.
very different question. I'd say, "How do you want me to touch you for 3 minutes?" They'd say, "Well, you can rub my shoulders, I guess." Well, that's very nice, but that's not the question. The
Mhm.
question is, "What sounds wonderful to you?" And then they'd go, "Oh,"
Mhm.
because they didn't hear the question the first time.
Well,
And
it's
this is
so
what sort of really clued me on that, "Oh, we're onto something here," because these words came out of my mouth, but different words went into their ears, and that really clued me in on what was happening.
well,
Yeah.
Betty, and two, you're giving them permission to want. I think
Yes.
that's one of the biggest
Yes.
pieces that's missing, right?
Huge.
Is like, oh, I can choose to be touched in a way that's just for me. Like it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
like it's interesting because it's an interactional touch thing, right?
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
are asking somebody else to touch you, but
Yes.
like you have to give yourself permission to
To
want
want. Yeah.
to want,
Yes, to want.
like at a
And
very
that is
basic
hard.
level. It
Yeah.
is,
It's
especially for the
hard.
women I'm working with who have
Yeah.
been basically living their entire lives for everyone else but themselves,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
And when you live
absolutely.
your life like that, then wait, I can do this
Right.
for me?
Yeah.
Wait, where?
Yeah. Hold on.
What
That
would
wait a
you
minute.
see? Would there be
That's
some
such a
trans?
thing? There's such a
Yeah,
thing as that?
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah, there is. I can tell you there is.
Well, what happens when people start to explore that for themselves?
Well, what happens well, a lot of different things happen. One is that they have a lot of ahas. Well, first of all,
Mhm.
it's often very challenging because your partner's asking you, what you want, how do you want to touch me? And now you're confronted with the fact that you haven't a clue. And but nothing's going to happen until you ask for it. So now you have to come up with something. So sometimes people think, "Oh my gosh, I have to come up with something." That happens sometimes. And oftentimes people are really touched that a lot of times people come to tears because, "Oh my gosh, this person wants to know what I want." And I have never been asked that. No one has ever asked me what I wanted. That happens a
Mhm.
lot. And, "Oh, is it you mean it's okay to want something? Like, how does that work?"
Mhm.
And, so a lot of ahas in that realm, and this happens with both men and women and multi-gendered people, that,
Mhm.
yeah, it's endemic to women, but it's not uncommon for men either,
Uh,
to not have any idea what you want, or to think that your job is to give, 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 do, do, do,
Mhm.
and you think you're doing it for her, but she thinks she's letting you do what you want for you. So who's it for? It's not for anybody. Nobody's
Mhm.
really getting anything out of it.
I've definitely seen that.
So yeah, so that happens a lot. And then when it's my turn to receive, so I'm asking, well, will you scratch my ears or whatever? Then I get to notice, and then you're doing it. I get to notice, what's it like to be touched exactly the way I want. No strings, is not going to go anywhere except exactly what I have asked for. And it's exactly what I wanted. Holy shit.
Mhm.
Tears, ahas, huge things happen because many people have never had the experience of being touched exactly the way they want. Many people never had that experience. It's a revelation. And not only being touched exactly the way you want, but it's not a precursor to get you anywhere else.
Yeah, you get
I,
to kind of
yeah,
sit right in that
yeah. This is
space.
like, oh my gosh, this is for
This
me.
is the thing.
This is the thing. Yeah. It's
One
huge.
thing you're bringing up, so I had this recent story happen where I was talking to a supervisee. So I supervise the
Hmm.
future leaders in the
Yes.
sexual
Yes.
health field.
Right. Yeah.
And one of my supervisees said that in a Girl Scouts group, they actually showed them like a introduction to your body, kind of puberty
Uh-huh. Right.
video. And somewhere in that video, she saw this visual of a girl kind of going underneath the blankets and, like taking time to explore her own body. And I was like,
That's radical.
one, who and where and how. But what was interesting is what that turned into for her, because this is a person who's sitting in my office who feels entitled to her own body, to own her own body and her own
Hmm.
pleasure. And
Hmm.
we made this connection in our supervision where I was like, you realize that early message that you got, that it's okay for you to explore your body and that your pleasure is your own, has led to you feeling entitled to your pleasure.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah.
we were like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think there's so much power in not only teaching this consent or the
Yeah.
wheel of
Yeah.
consent, but like
Yeah.
also like teaching it at a younger age that like you have a
Yeah.
right to your
Yeah.
own body. I'm
Yeah.
curious, like, how are you using the wheel of consent to teach people, maybe even across the lifespan, for example?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great question. I am not a uh, I don't work with young people specifically, like in schools or anything like that. Um, but I have been teaching this practice and how to use it with your clients to other hands-on practitioners for 20 years.
Hmm.
And it's gradually expanded. I've trained other people to teach it. I have 6 other people teaching this course. It's
Hmm.
5-day training for practitioners called Like a Pro. We teach it all over the world. Um, and so that's largely been it with practitioners. And then a few years ago, we started, we realized that, well, I put out a bunch of free videos on my website, and that went all over the world. And then I realized that people were using it, which is great, and trying to share it with other people, which is also great. And they were trying to teach it, but it was not accurate.
Well, how would
They
you
were
want
getting
to adjust
confused.
it? Like, how
Well,
would you
yeah,
teach it
so
accurately?
so that's a good point. So then I started um, training other people to teach that. Yeah, so now we have 50 people all around the world teaching the basic wheel of consent to the general public. Um, the main thing in teaching it is helping people have a somatic experience of each of those 4 quadrants.
Like, say somebody wants to get to know more about this or even like do one of these trainings, like how can they learn more about your wheel of consent so that they can have greater, wonderful, more intimate experiences?
Um, well, you can check out my book, the Art of Receiving and Giving, The Wheel of Consent. It's in any bookstore, all the places that you buy books. You can also look at schoolofconsent.org, and there's a calendar there with all the different classes that people are teaching all over the world. And you can look at me, bettymartin.org. We're on Instagram, The Wheel of Consent. Um, yeah, you'll find us. The book, it takes you through the practice step by step. It's quite easy. And there's 8 hours or so of free video on the school website and my own website that
Oh, cool.
also take you through it. So you don't need to spend a penny to learn this. You don't need to spend a penny if you don't want.
That's
Um,
amazing.
8 hours of free video. Um, just go have a look and travel through it. Yeah.
Well, you heard it here
So.
from Betty Martin. Thank you, Betty, for showing up on my show.
You are so welcome. It's fun.
Yeah. And it's, again, I hope I can have you on the show again. I really appreciated your time.
Thank you.
Are you ready to take your sex life beyond the bedroom? You want to spice things up and have a little fun? Come join me for my couples retreats. We are taking open bedroom doors to exotic locations and introducing you to fun, sexy new ways to intimately connect with your partner. In a beautiful location, surrounded with serenity, warmth, connection, that beachy vibe. This retreat is your opportunity to say, nope, I'm leaving the kids and work at home, and we're gonna go to a place where we focus on us. We slow down, we get into our sensory experience, and I just want you to ignite your sex life and learn how to really take your sex life from 0 to 100. I'm Angela Skirtu at openbedroomdoors.com, and I hope to see you at my next retreat. Join me for my next couples retreat on October 24th through 26th at Camden on the Lake Resort. I hope to see you there. That's too spicy. Well, guys, on the Open Bedroom Doors show, we often have content that's a little too spicy for your typical social media platforms. So for those of you who are like, I love everything Angela Skirtu and I want to know all the spicy details, we actually have a space where we put the uncut shows, and it is at patreon.com/openbedroomdoors. So you can subscribe to that channel and get all the behind the scenes, all that spicy stuff that I wasn't able to put in the show. That's too spicy. So I hope you can join me at patreon.com/openbedroomdoors. Keep in mind, that is how you support me. So it is a subscription channel where you have to pay to subscribe, but you are becoming a supporter of me and putting out this awesome content as a result. So please join me for those spicy, spicy things. At every show, I answer your audience questions. And with me, I have my BDSM bears, Barry Bonds, and Consent Cub. They're here to create a safe place. So you can ask me anything. And if you ever want to submit a question for this show, please submit it in comments below, or feel free to submit a contact form at my website, openbedroomdoors.com. So today's question is the buzz. May is Masturbation Month. Why is that significant? What an interesting question. I think that it's funny to me because like in the sex community, there's always somebody putting some kind of like, May is this. So like whether you're in your sex community or whether you're in the regular community, there's always some sort of month. I think there are so many like messages people have about masturbation being bad or evil or wrong. And as a result, there's just many people who struggle with owning and feeling comfortable with their sex life. And so one of the things I just want you to think about for May being Masturbation Month is that it is okay to self-love. I do actually use a different term for this. So I like to talk about it as self-pleasure. That like when you're masturbating, you're just learning to love yourself. You're getting to know who you are and you're getting to know your body. And I think that there's so many people who, when it comes to sex, feel really disconnected from their bodies based on shame messages we received as children, or just based on being raised in households where nobody talked about sex. So if you don't talk about something in a household, then you're left to fill in the blanks. And some people filled in those blanks with, I guess sex is bad because we never talk about it. I guess masturbation is bad because we never talk about it. Well, Masturbation Month is about celebrating your body and celebrating self-pleasure and knowing that it's okay to self-pleasure, that like your body is yours. And one of the values of masturbating is just figuring out what your body's capable of. Like, I don't think you realize how many cool ways you can orgasm and how many ways that your body can experience pleasure. So for Masturbation Month, my challenge to you is find new ways to pleasure your body and start learning to love your body for what it's capable of doing, because it's a pretty amazing body. Well, that's a wrap on this episode of the Open Bedroom Doors Show. Real talk for real relationships. If you laughed, learned, or blushed a little, you're welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend who needs a little more real talk in their life. Got a burning question about sex, love, or relationships? Check out openbedroomdoors.com and submit a contact form. Your question might just be featured in a future Happy Ending segment. Until next time, keep it honest, keep it sexy, and most of all, keep those bedroom doors open. Good night and have a sexy tomorrow.